Birthplace Studios and WSCB 89.9 FM presents the Tournament Review Podcast, a daily recap of the 2025 Hoop Hall Classic on Springfield College's campus, bringing you exclusive interviews and reactions from the best high school basketball players in the nation. Welcome to episode 1 of the Tournament Review Podcast. Each episode's number matches the day number of the Hoop Hall Classic. Stay tuned for coverage you won't find anywhere else, right here on WSCB Springfield. I am your Birthplace Studios host, Reese Merritt. Let's get to your score recap from day 1 of the Hoop Hall Classic. The day started off hot as Albany High School defeated Newton North High School in overtime, 58-53. Newton North High School basketball coach Paul Connolly was clearly animated during the game as he was doing his best to aid his team in the extended matchup. More on the sights and scenes of that game from River Mitchell. But Springfield Central High School and the Holy Cross High School girls basketball team didn't let the overtime games end there. Holy Cross won 51-47 in overtime. Next was Andover High School versus Notre Dame High School. Notre Dame taking the victory 51-37. Burke High School and East Catholic High School kept it close, Burke winning 60-57. And then we reach the rip-roaring rival games. Pope Francis High School took on Holyoke High School, and the two schools took the game into double overtime. And before I tell you the score, take a listen to the intense electricity taking place in Blake Arena. Wow. What a scene. Pope Francis ended up winning that one 77-74 over Holyoke. But Putnam Vocational High School and Springfield Central High School wouldn't let it end there. Listen to that cheer squad. Springfield Central won right before midnight, 58-47. And you'll have to tell me which game was more electric. Was it Pope Francis and Holyoke or Putnam and Springfield Central? Braden Shea will have more on that final game later in the show, so stick around. With your Springfield Sports Report, I'm Reese Merritt. Springfield College men's track and field sophomore Mike Anderson has done it again. For the third time this season, Anderson broke the school record and his own record in the 60-meter hurdles at the Wheaton College Invitational on Saturday. With a time of 8.2 seconds, his time ranks 18th in Division III this season, shaving off 0.08 of a second off his previous record of 8.28. The Springfield College men's swimming and diving team had no problem sweeping by Trinity College 166-75 in its final home dual meet. Sophomore Christian Butler, who won both diving events for the Pride, earned his 7th NUMAC Men's Diver of the Week honor of the season. The women's gymnastic team for Springfield College produced a season-high score in its quad meet with Ithaca, Ursinus, and Rhode Island College on Sunday. Despite the team score of 185 3/10, the Pride finished in 4th and last place. Springfield will travel to the University of Bridgeport this coming Sunday for another quad meet. The Boston Celtics erased a 26-point deficit in their wild comeback over the Philadelphia 76ers, winning 118-110 on Sunday evening. That's the franchise's third largest comeback in the last 2 decades. Jason Tatum racked up a game-high of 35 points, 25 of those points coming in the second half. Minnesota Wild defenseman Jonas Bronin and winger Marcus Johansson are trending to return for Tuesday night's game against the Boston Bruins. Bronin has missed 12 games with a lower body injury, and Johansson has been nursing a concussion for the last 8. New England Patriots rookie quarterback Drake May made his Pro Bowl debut on Sunday afternoon. May added a pair of touchdowns to his highlight reel, but matched those touchdowns with 2 pick sixes. The NFC defeated the AFC 76-63. The Luka Doncic trade is still stunning fans around the league. According to The Athletic, a league source said the Dallas Mavericks called at least one other team to inquire about a potentially similar trade prior to the deal with the Lakers. Now with an official trade, Doncic is said to be ecstatic about joining the Lakers, and there are early signs of a long-term future. For WSCB Sports, I'm Reese Merritt. Do you think that hand size as well is another factor that teams maybe don't really need to look into as much as they do?
Hand size is the perfect metaphor for NFL scouting. The NFL has been spending millions of dollars and thousands of man hours for decades drafting the most important position in sports using a parameter that scientifically has been proven to not mean anything. So, I mean, I can't think of something that sums up NFL scouting groupthink better than hand size. And it just shows you how desperate they are to try and quantify this position of quarterback. Like, they'll do anything, even if it doesn't make sense. Yeah, and quarterback hand size is, and you know what's great is you still see, I think this story came out several years ago, and there is just no data to back up that hand size means anything or correlates in any way. And every year you see media stories and scouts still talking about hand size. It's frustrating, but it's like, it's the perfect way to sum up whatever NFL scouting is. I think it's changed a little bit. And I just saw one of the guys I talked to was he was known for his hand strength. And I was like, well, how difficult would it be to measure hand strength? And he showed me this thing. It's like this little plastic thing that I think they're like $15. And it's like, you could hand this to every quarterback and just have them grip it, and then you'd know how strong their hands were. And I was just kind of like, oh my God, this is just like so, and they don't do that. Instead, they take some meaningless, weird hand measure or whatever. Yeah, it's great. It's crazy.
Yeah. And now knowing that information, do you think that it's a perfect example that, hand size on one case is something that maybe really isn't necessary at looking at? Is character another example of that, and is the hand size an example or a basis to prove that?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a little bit apples to oranges, because character is such a it's like, how do you define it? What's too much trouble? What's not enough trouble? Whereas hand size is like it's a measurement. But it's the same philosophy of like this echo chamber groupthink. We've done it. We've always measured hand size, so we're just going to keep doing it. Hey, here are the statistics in black and white that says over the last 25 years, there's no correlation between hand size and fumbles, hand size and NFL success. And you can show it to a scout and they'll go, okay, we're still going to do it anyways. So they're understanding that it's apples to oranges, but it is sort of still part of this whole messed up thought process that is just frustrating, because I think in any other industry, all these people would be fired, right? If you're picking stocks and the most important stocks you're picking, you get them wrong half the time, and you're given millions of dollars and thousands of man hours and you still get it wrong, and you don't change your thought process or your anything, you get fired in 2 years. The NFL's been doing this for 50 years and it's not changing. So it's just kind of two different sets of proof about the same problem.
Right. And having this idea that, or not an idea, this industry is so much different than other industries, and this might be a very conclusionistic kind of question, but do you think, having talking about character and personalities and also hand size, and we have these two different in a way, one's more numerical, one's more of a subjective idea, do you think we need to have a conversation of, does the scouting department in the NFL need to be reevaluated because of these two?
Oh, I mean, I've been saying that for years. I don't understand how it hasn't been. The NFL Combine's a perfect example. More than half of the tests they're doing, there's no correlation between, why would you test a 350-pound lineman in the 40-yard dash? They never run 40 yards.
As we've seen, just yesterday is that with some of the top 4 guys, which was Moses, Williams, Spillane, Davis III, Harold Landry was there at one point too. They're making an effort to make it a player-friendly location because it's not from what the NFLPA communicated at all. So they're making an effort to bring these guys in and be like, they're going to give a day to all their signees, the recent signees. Spillane had his young child running around, and Vrabel is there, like playing with his kid there, and he's all happy to be there. And then Patriots Unfiltered had them on their radio podcast, and they're talking with him. So they're making a whole day out of it, right? Be like, look at our new players.
Signing day.
It is signing day, and they had them all. They had them sign their contracts, walking through the stadium. Of course, the big screen. They had their names on there for the whole family. They held the whole bit. So I think they're making a push to say, look, this is a destination you want to come to, right? The Eagles have done this, making it a whole players system. Of course, Robert Kraft announced a $50 million investment to a new facility last time around. It's going to open in 2026. Yeah, right. I know. Ooh, a little stadium, a little place to go to, a little place to walk around. But for example, I mean, if you go, I'm going to have you do something. Go look up right now. Not the ceiling. Do not look up at the ceiling while I tell you this.
Yeah.
Look up the Ravens or the Raiders practice facility or something like that. Because I think you will find that it looks like a palace. And for New England, I mean, you don't even have to walk upstairs. You don't have to walk upstairs. And I think with New England, you have these long corridors, and it takes forever to get places.
Oh my goodness,
if you can have your players walk less, if they got 30 minutes of walking all day, right, it's probably going to look a little bit more.
There's a golf putting thing at the Ravens on.
Right. Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Everybody should go look it up. It looks phenomenal. That's what New England needs to start doing if they want to get the players that they want, because they're people too. They're people who are getting paid a lot of money because they're good. That's the way you're going to get these people. I mean, when the Seattle Seahawks built their stadium, something that they added in there was a dock to land seaplanes for their players. I'm not saying don't build a lake and put a seaplane there, but you have to go. This is what's just happening right now. You have to go the extra mile to go get some of these players because it looks more attractive.
Yeah.
New England does not have the luxury of going to grab or having a nice climate. Right, they're in the cold.
Yeah, but the outside of the Seahawks one, it kind of looks like a high school.
Okay, well, I didn't tell you to look up the Seahawks one. They're in the cold too.
Yeah.
But my point being, they have to make a commitment to these players and start making changes, right? Bill Belichick had a way of doing things. We're no longer Bill Belichick.
Right.
Changes have to be made. They're being exposed now. I think Mike Vrabel has it in him to make changes, but I think they're going to have to start making a push for these.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome. I love the whole tradition and the history of New England and how we're the hardcore winners.
Yeah.
I'm ready to be the cool guys now.
Yeah.
I think, and Vrabel's the perfect switch. We thought it was Mayo. We were wrong.
Yes.
He was very just Belichick-like.
And I think that the team was not ready to bring in a brand new head coach.
Yeah, no.
And it showed.